Welcome to Marty's Garden, a place where you can learn how to grow fresh food, organic food, sustainably in your backyard. In today's video, I just want to talk about how I'm getting some of my compost together and how many worm farms I've got, etc., and how I'm doing it in my small space garden. This is one of the areas I like to call my worm zone, and I've got two worm farms here, the plastic ones. This one's 4 tiers, including the bottom area, and I've got another 2 tiers that can fit on top of this. And using my vertical space in this area is pretty practical for me because I've only got a very small area, and I like to get about 1,000 to 2,000 worms in each one before I move them on into the garden, sell them, or put them into the windrows. Now what I'm doing in the summertime is I'm actually putting a thinner layer of compost, high quality compost, and then I'm putting actually more carbon in there, more fluffy carbon like straw and sugarcane and things like that, and making it more of a, not so much of a dense layer, but a fluffy layer which insulates them and keeps them cooler in the summer, and they come up and feed on that, and any of the excess nitrogen gets actually stuck on the edges and things and gets fed back through. So very good way for the summer. Love my little space here, and I'm going to keep adding to it over time so I can breed more worms at home, because when you've got more worms you can make more compost. Just sit up against my trusty boat here, which you can't see, it's off screen a little bit, but I'm sitting beside one of my windrows, which is beside my house. Now at the moment I've got like this chemical free, there's absolutely no chemicals in this sawdust. Now this is really great stuff, and I'm adding coffee to it over time, a bit of cow manure and also mushroom compost. And if I can get hold of some very high-end quality chicken manure, I'll add that too, but I just don't want to go over excess nitrogen, because there's lots of nitrogen in that coffee that I get hold of, and I get it from the cafes, and it's absolutely 100% free. Now here I've also got, it's very dusty at the moment, it's been so dry, that's cow manure, but it's been raining a little bit, so it's got a little bit of moisture. I feed that into it too, and I mix that through my blends, and I feed that to the worms, because the worms love cow manure. See, cow manure adds an extra element to it. It adds an extra microbe which you can only get through cow. So I love this. I've got about 5 square meters here, and there's about 2 square meters of compost ready to go, full of worms. It's full of worms and worm casting. I've got to sit out here and separate it all. It's quite a long job because I still haven't worked on the proper type of sifter, which is my trommel, which I'll show you outside on the way back through as we go back around the garden. So that you can see on the edge there, that is just sawdust mixed with coffee, and it's been blended in and getting wet, and it's going to make a great worm casting, because I'm going to add that to the top layer of this side pile over here to feed those worms. I've also got more worms down below this tumbler here, and then inside my tumbler I have 2 trays, and that's got worms in it too, and every time I tumble it the worms appear. Another 2 trays over here, which these are from the plastic worm farms, and they'll eventually go up into one of the tiers soon. I just like it here because it's nice and cool for them. And I collect my compost when it goes through my trommel, which is my trommel here. So I just turn the handle, it spins and it sifts through, and I make my compost. This is what I call my water well. Now I put all my town water in here for at least 24 hours before I put any water through those plastic worm farms, just to kill off any chlorine and nasties that are in there. And then I'd like to get my bubbler. I've got a big 1 meter head pump, and I'm going to put the worm tea in there and castings in there and brew up my own mix, which will eventually go over the garden and be sprayed onto the plants as well. So take a look at this bin, guys. This is just basically, when I was harvesting my worm castings before I broke my leg or hurt my knee, I just threw castings into here, and then it got wet one time, and there must have been a bit of seed blowing around the yard and stuff, and some seedlings started coming up. So I threw some kangkong in here as well. Now there's no drainage holes in this whatsoever, it's just crazy. And then I put another kangkong pot in here, which the roots are going out down the bottom, and this pumpkin appeared, and it's just, the pumpkin's so healthy. I just love it. I don't know where to put it in the garden, but I just love having it in here, really. It's very cool. So there you have, guys, a bit of a look around my little micro farming process here. We're getting the compost underway, and then next stage will be the worms and then the plants. And then who knows where it may go on from there. But look, I'm still hobbling around on this thing. My knee's a bit sore after being out today. And this morning I was sort of hobbling around, if you noticed in that video. But anyway, look, it's some great stuff going on. And look, if you want to keep learning about growing food at home and organic gardening and possibly even little bits about farming, or you just like the story that's going on behind here at Marty's Garden, make sure you subscribe and click that bell button before you go, because you're going to learn plenty along the way. Now, before you head off, just come and check out this praying mantis. Look, Karin has some habitats and things, and if we can get it on the screen there, if it can zoom in, we'll put it right up there where the focus area is, and see if it'll focus in. Is it focusing, Karin? Doesn't want to focus real well. We'll put some light on it. Let's put some more light on it.
It's got blue wings.
And it's just come out of its cocoon, like another cocoon. Or is it called a cocoon, or what's it called?
No, just shed his skin.
Just shed his skin. Look, he's looking around at you.
He's got some blue wings.
So it's a bit hard to get him into focus inside, but yeah, he's a praying mantis. He's just got some new wings, come out of shedding his skin. Great stuff, living in the habitat. We get them out of the garden here and catch and release. We've got other cruisy insects. What else did we get today?
I didn't know.
There was a big wasp or something. What was it?
I didn't know. Oh, a big locust.
Big locust, and she let it go out in the road. We're hoping Willy Wagtail was going to fly down and swoop it up and eat it, but it got away. Anyway, listen guys, if you want to see more cool videos, we've got videos coming out every Monday at the Marty's Garden Show with me, Karin.
Yeah.
And we'll see you at the next video real soon. A place where you can learn how to grow more fresh food at home, organically, sustainably in the right way. Bye for now. See you soon.